Hello and thanks for tuning in to Kalkine TV. I'm James Preston and it's lunchtime here in Sydney, which means it's time for the mid-market pulse. In today's show, we'll take a look at the overall Australian share market performance by the mid-session trade. We'll also explore the biggest winners and losers and stocks that have grabbed headlines today. Australian shares continue to trade higher by mid-session, albeit reversing most of their early gains, led by losses in blue-chip mining stocks such as BHP, Rio Tino and Fortescue. The market witnessed broad-based buying activities following firm cues from Wall Street, which extended its rally amid easing inflation fears. Investors also kept an eye on the Reserve Bank of Australia's minutes today, which will give some signal about future rate hikes. The market is now pricing in a rate hike by the Reserve Bank as soon as June next year, which is more aggressive than the Federal Reserve's market-implied pricing. The benchmark index, the ASX 200, was up by 0.22% by lunch. The index opened higher today, tracking firm cues from Wall Street and gained as much as 0.35%. On the COVID-19 front, New South Wales reported 273 locally acquired cases and 4 deaths in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, admissions to hospital dipped to the lowest point in 2 months, with 589 people taking treatment in the hospital. Victoria has recorded 1,749 new infections and 11 deaths as the state moves closer to achieving its vaccination targets and coming out of lockdown later this week. Under the latest easing of restrictions from 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, up to 20 people will be allowed indoors at pubs, clubs and entertainment venues. Let's now turn our focus to the top gainers and losers by mid-session trading. The top gainer on the ASX pack was telecom service provider Unity Group, which was trading higher by 3.6%. Some of the other notable gainers were buy now, pay later firm Zipco, software business Nearmap, tech firm Appen and fintech company IRESS. On the losing side, real estate firm Unibol Radamico Westfield was the worst performer with a 4.5% loss. The other top laggards were miner Rio Tinto, mining technology firm Codan, and gold resources producers Gold Road Resources and Ramelius Resources. And now time for a very short break, but stay tuned to Kalkine TV as we'll be back with more trending market updates in just a moment. Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
sectoral coverage or industry news.
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
With Kalkine TV.
Thanks for tuning in to Kalkine TV. It's great to have your company. I'm James Preston, live from Sydney, and this is the Mid-Market Pulse. Let's move on to stocks that created a buzz today on the ASX. Shares of New Zealand-based construction business Fletcher Building rose over 2% after it issued details of its 2021 annual shareholders meeting. The company said that its earnings before interest and taxes would be around 10% by the 2023 financial year. For the first half of the 2022 financial year, the EBIT margin is expected to be below 10% due to business disruption caused by the COVID-19 lockdowns. The company, however, expects to achieve its target margins in the second half of the 2022 financial year. Logistics company Bramble saw its shares climbing over 2% after it released its September quarter business update. The company, which specialises in the pooling of unit load equipment, pallets, crates and containers, reported 11% year-on-year growth in sales revenue for the first 3 months of the financial year, ending June 30, 2022. For the full year, the company pegs sales growth between 5 and 7% and underlying profit growth between 1 and 2%. It expects free cash flow to be an outflow of $200 million, including the reversal of $215 million of timing benefits largely relating to deferred pallet purchases in financial year 2021. Dividends are expected to be paid out between 45 to 60% of underlying profit after finance costs and tax in US dollar terms. Shares of BHP Group dropped 1.5% by lunchtime after the world's biggest miner unveiled September quarterly activity report. The iron ore miner shipped 70.8 million tonnes during the first quarter, down 3.5% compared to the prior year period. However, the company has retained the production and unit cost guidance for the 2022 financial year. During the quarter under review, BHP ramped up the production of high-quality iron ore at South Flank and also its production of copper from the Spence growth option, and it also delivered its first nickel sulfate from its new plant at Kwinana. The BHP board also approved an investment of $5.7 billion for the Jansen Stage 1 project in Canada and $544 million for the Shenzi North development project in the US Gulf of Mexico. Shares of Aussie gambling company Tabcorp were down 1.5% by mid-session trading after it updated about the demerger of its lotteries and Keno Co business in its annual general meeting. The company will demerge it to create two ASX-listed entities, Lotteries and Keno Co and Wagering and Gaming Co. The demerged companies will have distinct operating profiles, strategies and growth opportunities. The demerger is set to be completed by June 2022, though it will also require a scheme of arrangement to be court approved. The company's board believes that the demerger of Lotteries and Keno is in the best interest of shareholders and is expected to realise significant value with far less conditionality and execution risk. Moving on now to hearing aid business Cochlear, who saw their shares gain over 2.5% after it projected to report 10 to 20% growth in net profits in the financial year of 2022. The company retreated that its dividend payout ratio will remain in the range of 70% of underlying profit for the 2022 fiscal year. Speaking at the annual general meeting, Chief Executive Officer Dig Howard said that the company's sales revenue is expected to benefit from market growth, with a continuing recovery in surgery rates across many countries more affected by COVID. The share price of Bapcor was up by around 2% after auto parts business released details of the annual general meeting for the 2021 financial year. The company said that its revenue over the lockdown-hit September quarter is flat compared to the corresponding quarter. It also informed that its 2022 financial year target is to deliver pro forma earnings at least flat on the 21 fiscal year, with a stronger second half of the financial year. All right, well, that's a wrap for this edition of the Mid-Market Pulse. Keep watching Kalkine TV for more trending market updates and business news. I'm James Preston, reporting for Kalkine.